Sort of. Hi, everyone. Hi. Welcome to Changeling the Lost Littlebrook reunion. Hi. I will be slightly shuffling cameras around a little bit because I forgot to fix all this before we went live. Sorry about that. Tech happens. But thank you for joining us for another game of Changeling, and which will probably be the last big game for the season, as we will be taking an earlier holiday next week and be coming back January the 2nd, where we will be continuing with Chapter 2 of Littlebrook Reunion. Reunion Harder, working title. And there might be a one-shot or one-on-one with Jonas, or Adam, as his real name is, as he has been unable to join us for the last two games. And the reason for that is he got married. So congratulations, Jonas, if you're out there, or Adam, sorry.
All of them.
All of them. All the... Yes. So, with that in mind, I would like everyone to just do a brief introduction. And, oh yeah, I really need to move you guys around, because right now we got Harry on Tide. So everyone just just whoever wants to go first, and I'll be busy moving people around.
Tide?
Did you just say Tide?
Yes, I did.
Perfect.
Not only did you shoot Tide, you have now become Tide.
Yes.
It was his
The
grand
bullet
plan
was my
all
first
along.
plan.
Yes.
Plan.
Perfect.
So,
Oh no.
Harry, I play Nate, Ferris.
I'm Trev. I play Silas, an ogre, no matter what the overlay says.
Yeah. Oh, I messed up.
I'll go next. I am Tori, and I play Lars the Wizened.
I'm Megan, and I play Nova, the Beast.
Does that mean it's my turn?
That means it's your turn.
I think so.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kitsu, and I play Tide and an elemental. Oh, that's starting to look good, I think.
It's super fun to watch.
It is.
There we go.
It's my new favorite game.
Ooh.
Silas happened to be in the right place from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes,
I always
good job.
Right man for the right place.
That's right.
Something like that.
So I'm in the right place too. We got a cake last
You did.
time.
Yeah,
We
that
got a
was
cake. I
amazing.
still have it
I love the
here.
way you worked that cake. That was perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Wait.
Sorry. I'm very distracted by this. Okay, there is.
It's okay.
We have to decide which dessert we need to go for next. The cake really worked, but like, what's the next level?
Chocolate.
That is
mousse.
true.
Just straight up mousse. It's delicious. It's light. It's something I really
Well, Littlebrook is really close to Canada, so moose is an option.
Not that kind of mousse.
Oh my God, was that a Gremlins 2 callback, or was that just me showing how old I am?
No, there's
Oh, no. I'm with you completely.
Thank you.
I'll be old enough for Gremlins 2 memes. Just a little cutoff date.
Okay, I think I got everyone sort of in the right place. Sorry about that. I just got distracted. Tech happens. Whew, okay, so thank you for introductions, everyone. I am Chris, the Primogen. As usual, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube, and I make lore videos, and I also play on Blood City on Sundays, Augustus, the La Sombra. And that's about enough for me, about me, I mean. Let's do a little bit of a recap. What happened last time? It was a very dialogue-heavy episode. Also, sorry if I will be poking my face. This apartment is dry as a prune, and my entire face is drying out. Last time, what happened? Let's not talk about my face anymore. You guys, well, you killed a dragon, but that was two and a half episodes ago. Essentially, you encountered the remaining changelings of Littlebrook. They were slightly upset by the fact that you had not only, well, you had checked up on Wenceslas, the other changeling who was powering whatever contract was keeping the town safe. You'd also brought him with you outside, and one of his artifacts had been destroyed. Sorry? Oh, I thought I heard someone question the fact that you brought him outside, which you did. But the circumstances were, yeah, the circumstances were difficult. So you did what you had to do. You managed to convince them that this was the right thing to do, considering Wenceslas had literally asked you to take him out of there. And essentially everyone decided that, yeah, we need to figure out what to do right now. Something that did happen was that the seasons kind of caught up, and through a pretty lengthy exposition, you were told that when the contract had started, everything had kind of been put on hold. Not so much that time had frozen, which it hadn't, just that life, in a way, had frozen. Things didn't change, the seasons didn't move as they should, people kind of just froze in their lives. And things are now again moving, which could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. We don't know that yet. You do know that 3 of the artifacts are still intact: the crown, the cloak, and the spear. The mirror, however, was broken and shattered in pieces, so that might need fixing. But you also managed to essentially figure out the reason for why this contract was cast in the first place. Does anyone know why?
It was to block out the hunters so that they couldn't come and take more children into Fairy.
That is true.
The reason they started it is because there was a death of a lot of children and teenagers to the point where simple and everyone else got desperate.
Exactly. A whole school class was killed, and the principal, Miss Blackbird, of course, was troubled by this, so to put it mildly, and she and the others decided to throw up this contract to sort of get rid of the Fae once and for all, and it turned out to work fairly okay. And sorry. Everyone's just shaking their heads.
Just eye rolls all around.
Yeah, well, it's not as bad as last week's pun, that's for sure.
Listen.
We do not talk about last week's pun.
Let's just skip over that.
Yeah. And so things kind of turned out better than you expected. You were giving 2 kinds of cake in the library, and you were essentially offered places to stay, at least for the night. You would get apartments later on in the Broadmeadow apartment complex, and some of you were even given the opportunity to look for jobs if you wanted. Now, this episode is going to be slightly different than usual because we will be essentially doing little scenes, 1 or 2 characters at a time, and we will be covering what's going to happen during this week of time in Littlebrook. It won't be every day, it won't be every event, but it will be a specific thing that we have settled on a little bit beforehand what's going to be. So, who's going to start? Shall we have a vote?
Should we do some shoutouts first?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much. I forgot that. Let me... there is...
I got them up. You want me to do it?
Perfect. Yes, please, Soaring. Please do them.
Okay. So, shoutouts today are that Drive-Thru RPG has the Scion 2nd edition Book 1 Origin phone version out. Also, Trinity Continuum Core and TC Aeon are also available in Drive-Thru RPG. I don't think we've got any Kickstarters going on right now, so I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think that's about it. So if you guys are on your phone a lot, if you want to check out a phone-adapted PDF, then look no further. Trinity. And I think AN is Trinity. I just lost the
That's
word.
the older one, I think.
That's the older one, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're
And
into
then Pugmire's out too. But
That's
that
true.
was a couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I dropped the
Yeah, Trev bought that one.
couple weeks ago.
Pugmire is amazing. You play as animals, pets,
Oh.
right? Dogs and cats.
You get to play as dogs in Pugmire. You're
Yeah.
like
Pretty legit. Yeah.
super noble race. Well, not even just one race of dogs, like all the dogs you can
All the different breeds you can play.
either they are making or have made a PDF for cats as well.
Yeah.
It's basically if you want to RP Narnia. It's
Oh,
great.
I love it. I love it. That's a very good way to sell it. I'm gonna pre-order that one.
That's a great
I'm
one.
pre-order. I'm gonna order it.
Sell it. It's like the antidote to super nihilistic medieval fantasies that children made Game of Thrones. I love Pugmire. You can do a lot worse than that for Christmas, just for all the imagination and stuff you can get. Just reading it was amazing, so I loved it.
That's a glowing recommendation. So if you're interested in that, if you want more hopeful, more fun, and fantastic fantasy role-playing, look no further than Pugmire from the Onyx Path. Okay, I think we're about ready to start. So thank you very much for doing the shout-outs, Touring. And, also, by the way, for those of you who, well, I don't think anyone would know, I have handed over the reins for the experience point system, or the... Beats. Thank you. I'm a good storyteller. The beats I have handed over to Trev or Silas, who will be keeping track of them from now on. And I appreciate it a lot because I tend to be very bad at keeping track of that stuff.
Yeah, some people in the audience might want to know what we're buying with the experience we gain from our adventures. So
That's true.
might hear interesting concepts here, or people might surprise you when suddenly some brand new, never before seen thing their character does happen. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
But yeah, I'll just be handing out experience with Chris's permission over the next little while.
Thank you. And I really appreciate it because that means I can focus a little bit more on the narrative aspects, which is what I love to do. So I have something for Lars, Nathan Tide, Silas, and Nova. Now, who shall we start with today? Do we have any volunteers or should we do voting?
I'll go.
All right, we'll go with...
I'm gonna go for
Pull that trigger.
We'll go with Nate and Tide. You guys are
Don't
going...
tell him that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you guys are going to go to the shooting range, isn't that right?
Hell yeah.
Oh dear.
That is
Tempting, Nova.
that is absolutely correct. You guys are going to the shooting range, and you're going there with Deputy Patty. Well, that's not her last name, but
safety class.
but yeah, you're going there with the deputy, and essentially she's going to teach you the basics of firearms. And wasn't it also self-defense, or was it merely
Yes.
using a gun?
Just self-defense and firearms.
All right,
Mhm.
perfect. So let's set the scene. It is fairly close to the scrapyard. It is actually a bit further down the road, and the shooting range is towards the forest. There's a rather long stretch of land, clear land, before the targets and what have you. But the area is kind of known to the locals to not be the place where you go and hang out. And there are some, I would assume, not safety nets, but definitely something keeping people away from the shooting range. Now, I'm not super familiar with shooting ranges because Sweden has fairly restrictive gun laws, but if I say anything that's weird, then just please correct me.
Okay.
So,
I can tell you most shooting ranges would have a pile behind the
yes, of course. Huge bales of hay and stuff like that.
literally a pile of dirt. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Earth berm.
So we got an earth berm. I said that right. Ooh, some music in the background. Was that? Oh, you and Owen was her? Toho? Toho?
Well, that is from Toho, yes, but
Yeah, I think that was you and Owen was her, wasn't it? Anyway, sorry.
it's all I'll need to activate the middle.
Right. So while Nate and Tide are going shooting, Silas is catching up to Toho. This interesting new bullet hell game. Anyway, you guys are they're pretty early in the morning, and the dust, no, not the dust, sorry, the fog is kind of thick on the ground still because it's cold evenings, semi-warm days. It's still August, but it's drifting away. And there's really, it's probably 8 in the morning, 7, 8 in the morning. You're pretty far away from most places where people live, except, of course, for Martin Wellman, who lives in the junkyard, but he's already up and working on his machinery. And you've gotten a ride here with Patty in the patrol car, and she steps out and points you in the direction of the safety equipment. She goes, "All right, well, I have the key to this place, so we can use it whenever we want. But obviously, you understand I'm not going to let you get in here without supervision, right?"
Yeah, makes sense.
Tide?
Sure. Yeah,
Thank
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I know you guys killed a dragon, which is honestly, I've not done that, and I've been in town for a long time, so you got one on me. You got that, but still not gonna trust you with guns just yet, considering the track record of
That's fair.
someone here. Not gonna mention any names.
That's fair.
All right. Well, perfect. So I wasn't entirely sure what kind of guns you guys wanted to use, and obviously we don't really have a huge variety of weapons here. Littlebrook is the safest town in Minnesota for the last 17 years, but we do have some 9mm handguns and a shotgun. That's about the full range of what we have available, unless we go to Fargo. But that should be enough for now.
Yeah.
We're going to do some basic gun safety first and foremost, and how you're going to hold them if you're going to be using guns, which honestly I don't think you should be unless there's an emergency. But again, kill the dragon. There's some we're gonna just
a lot of emergencies around here, so
I hope not. Did you say emergencies?
there seem to be a lot around here.
Not
At
really.
least since we've shown up.
Yeah, that would be it. Yes. Anyway, okay, so here's a 9mm gun. This is the same kind of pistol that you were using, Nate. And first of all, whenever you're not using it, the safety mechanism is here, and she kind of hands you each a gun, and it's not loaded. So if you click this on, it says right here on it, everything should be fine. All right, we got that. Safety.
Yep.
Nate.
I clicked the safety on.
Good. So, whenever you're walking around with a gun, if you've got the gun drawn, you need to have trigger discipline, which means don't put your finger in the little thing with the trigger. Don't do that, because trigger guard, that's the one. Yes, thank you. I know that word. I was just trying to explain it to you. She looks a little bit flustered, like she obviously hasn't been using guns a whole lot, considering it, despite being a deputy. So never put your finger inside the trigger guard unless you're going to be aiming or shooting. And if you're aiming, you got to make sure that you're aiming. Well, you're aiming at something you want to shoot, and that's not just, Tide or someone else. Okay, got that? Trigger guard, keep your finger on the side of the trigger guard. And then she basically gives you a rundown. We're not going to do everything because, again, haven't even fired a gun myself, so this is what I've learned from television.
God, I hope television isn't your only teacher.
No, thankfully it's not.
Because it's my teacher, and it did not go well.
Well, I mean, Tide kind of like looks at the gun and then is like, well, honestly, I just wanted to do target practice. This is interesting, and it's good to know how to click it to place, but I can shoot my own bullets.
Okay, I didn't know that. That changes things a lot. So you can.
I mean, I can shoot the gun.
No. If you can shoot your own bullets, that's just. I didn't know that. That's really cool. Could you show it, maybe?
Listen, I did it a couple times. I don't know if I can do it well. I'm really bad. I'm not that great at aiming them. That's the problem. This is why I don't usually do it. Like, I'm okay, but it's not. I don't know. Look,
just
where can I shoot this at?
she points at some of the targets. They're like different distances. Some of them are fairly close. And she's like, just do your thing. Whatever comes naturally. We haven't had anyone capable of shooting bullets before, but
I mean, they're not technically bullets. They're shards. So look, I'll just I'm kind of the water bottle that I have with me and kind of like pour it over my hand and kind of like try to grab it and splash it into the air to form shards. I think I can do that.
I think so.
I have firearms.
But
here,
do you need to use glamour for it?
If it works, I think I have to actually. Let me check.
What is hold on. Which contract is it?
I think can't I like wait, how does the weapon contract work? Am I allowed to only summon the sword or can I summon any kind of weapon?
I think you can only summon elemental weapon, 148.
Yeah. That's the thing. Oh. I have a lot of notes.
Yep. Okay. No, that's not page 148. Overpowering dread, primal glory, touch of wrath. Okay, elemental weapon. No, you create a weapon that you wield. Hold on.
Okay, that changes things.
Okay, and shapes it into any archaic weapon of her choosing. For example, fiery gauntlets. So you can't make guns.
Crossbow.
No.
That's a good. You can make javelins.
Maybe a bow. I don't know.
Yeah,
if a crossbow would be
javelin.
archaic.
You can't make ammunition, but you can make a javelin.
Bow sounds cool. But hold on, so I should say they can be like darts and stuff. Is that okay?
Yes, but if you make darts with a plural, you're gonna have to pay for every one you make.
I can make one with the trick beforehand, so I don't pay glamour, but it's like one per turn, right?
What's the loophole for it?
The loophole is the character.
They have to. Yeah.
You have to perform a showy trick with a mundane version of the element as an instant action. This does not inflict damage if she invokes this contract immediately after. I mean, if you're doing... Okay, fine. Let's say you can make darts. Let's say you can make darts because you're going to be essentially doing a little dance every time you make one of the darts.
Oh my god.
And you have to roll presence plus survival plus weird to
slide and throwing daggers.
I'm basically Sailor Moon at this point. This is amazing.
I love it. Also,
no, this is awful, but okay.
Something we haven't been doing that because you've been using your element, which you belong to, it means it merges with your mask and makes you look absolutely horrifying, boosting your intimidation, I think.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Well, now you know.
Doesn't that mean if I'm just spending insignificant amounts of the element from what I read, it's not actually just like a couple of drops?
Just roll.
Okay.
Sorry.
What am I rolling?
You're rolling presence, survival, and weird. We'll work out the intricacies when it becomes relevant for you to intimidate someone.
Presence.
Sorry, that was really mean. I'm sorry.
Survival and what was the last time?
Weird.
Weird.
And you roll. Yeah. Your weird stat is.
Where's my weird?
You have probably one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 6 dice. Let's see what happens. 1 success.
Is that 1 over 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is 8.
Well, that's a success. So that means you create a little dart of ice. And Patty looks at it and then looks at you and goes, "Well, that's impressive."
Is it though? Is it? 'Cause it's
I
like-
mean, it was a lot of moving about and waving your hands for a dart. We have guns if you want to use
Right.
them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So just give me the gun. This
No,
is
I mean,
my-
you can use your dart. It's really cool. Look, Ty, don't. I'm sorry. Use your dart. It's fine. I mean, right, Nate?
Yeah, the dart's fine. I mean, it may be less accurate, less deadly, worse in every way, but if it works for you, it works for you.
Right. Well, I'll try not to stab you with it for start.
Ooh. Let's not do any stabbing. I do not. I mean, I have a first aid kit in my car, but I'd rather not have to use it.
Yeah, I'd rather we all leave this fire in one piece.
That would be ideal. Yes.
Do you want me to still?
Yes, of
Just
course.
throw it? I mean, I
Dexterity,
can make it now.
dexterity firearms, I guess.
Okay, 1, 2. Oh, that's actually 5 dice. This is not
Or
that
would it
bad.
be? Would it be strength if you're throwing it? No, that's just damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lawn darts are banned for a reason. Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 critical misses and 1 success.
We don't have. Thankfully, we
two
don't have.
ones.
We don't use ones in this system. Thankfully.
Okay, good.
So that's one success. So Tide,
Yeah,
you
one
you kind of take aim. You feel like you're in the backyard of your parents' house during the summer, playing with Jonas, throwing darts. Kind of throw this icy little dart away from you, and it flies in a pretty good arc and hits the target and sticks to it for a little bit, and then slowly it kind of cracks and falls to the ground. But if you'd hit a person, that would have caused some damage.
I observed this very carefully for a long silent moment, and I looked at him like, "No, give me."
All right.
No.
That was really cool, though, right, Nate?
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, definitely
And I'm
very
gonna
cool.
Take the pistol out of my waistband, the one that I just had of my pocket, or
Where did you get that?
don't ask. And then I'm gonna aim at the target.
You should not have a gun in your waistband.
And I'm gonna fire a few shots at that
The
target.
safety wasn't on?
Yeah.
Gonna
Oops,
So
here goes
gonna
those 2 dice.
shoot.
No successes. Hell yeah.
Nate holds the gun like a true crip and just holds it sideways and fires away and misses completely. And Patty just kind of looks at you, Nate, and then she just leans over and clicks the safety on your gun and goes, "Okay, that was very nicely done. That's your turn. Now it's Tide's. And next time, if you have a gun on you, would you please let me know?"
Okay. The problem is, I can always have a gun. on me.
That is,
No matter how many guns you take.
can
from
you
me,
have
I
a gun?
one.
Can you have a gun on you with the safety on?
I suppose.
Yes, please. I don't want you to have an accident in your. Okay. Anyway, Tide. Here's you know how I showed you how it works. Just remember to is it breathe out or hold your breath? She asks this to herself out loud. Hold your breath.
You wanna take a deep breath and find the natural resting point
Okay.
where your breathing stops. Then that's where you shoot.
Is this Nate saying this or is this you saying this out of
Oh,
character?
this is Harry saying this. I'm
All right.
actually,
Okay. Cool. Because I was gonna go like, okay, let's not do what Nate told you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So.
was like in the top 15 for
Ooh.
15 for riflery when I was younger.
Cool. Okay. So go ahead and roll Dex Firearms, Tide.
Dex, that was the same as before, so 5. Let's see how badly I do. Okay. So Tide kind of like takes the gun, tries to figure out where to look out from, kind of, and then just kind of like That's not bad. 1, 2, 2 successes.
2 successes. Tide aims, kind of half closes one eye, and fires off a shot, and it hits, I would say, about a couple of inches away from the middle of the target. Pretty good shot. And Patty goes, "Yeah, good shot, Tide. All right, good. We'll
Thanks.
do this for a little while." And she kind of just puts some clips, well, not clips, put some bullets essentially out through. Wait, no, there would be clips in a 9mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She takes out a couple of clips and goes, "This is what we got to work with today, so don't fire away all gung-ho." Looks at Nate. And once we're done with
Poor
that,
Nate.
we'll... well, he did just fire out, like, randomly. Actually, do you even need ammunition? Or do you have that as well?
I'm just gonna pull a magazine out of my
Oh,
back
God.
pocket. Gonna just spend a glamour to do that.
Oh, my God. Okay, Nate. I'm going to tell you right now, as an officer of the law, since you don't have a license for those, I'm going to overlook this, but if I ever hear that you're pulling out guns in the middle of Littlebrook, I'm going to be very unhappy with you, okay?
Is it a concealed carry thing if I don't have the gun on till I make it magically
Yes, it's a
appear?
concealed carry. If you can at any time, at any place, pull out a gun out of your pants.
Okay, so I should probably for a concealed permit.
Ultimately, if the situation arises where you need to protect yourself in Littlebrook, look, let's discuss this later. This is she just kind of looks like she's having a bad start to the
I just
day.
looked up concealed carry laws in Minnesota. Percent of people in Minnesota have concealed carry permit.
How-
1 in 20 is packing heat in Minnesota.
Wait, how many? How one in what?
1 in 20.
Oh my God!
Population of 5.6 million people, and they've issued like 300K permits.
Luckily, Littlebrook is the safest town in Minnesota, 17 years running, so there's no need for guns.
That's good.
Oh my God!
Oh boy.
That's just concealed carry. Yeah, there's probably a lot more people, like Russian
What is
shotguns.
wrong with
Yeah.
your country?
Don't look up South
It's
Dakota.
easier to get guns than Kinder eggs. Literally,
my
I was
God.
just at Walmart earlier, and they have a section where they have shotguns that you can buy for like $100.
The
Ah,
Kinder eggs are illegal.
Yeah, no Kinder eggs.
No.
Those are too dangerous. You could choke on those.
all right. All right. We will.
What's your
Oh my God! So it should probably not be too hard for Nate to get a license for concealed carry, then I suppose.
Probably not.
No,
Where'd
probably
you get that
not.
Kinder egg?
All right.
Just to make the one. Hold on.
Oh my God, Nate! You can sell illegal Kinder eggs.
Littlebrook's Kinder egg smuggling
You can just make as many as you want.
cartel.
Oh my God! I think
Oh
we've
my
just
God.
stumbled upon a
One at a time.
It's a new plot.
Hell yeah.
This took a
The
strange
black
turn.
market.
All right, so you're firing away with your guns, and eventually she kind of goes into showing you how to hold a shotgun if you want to use it. It's got a lot of kick to it. If you want, you can roll for that as well. I don't think Nate can create a shotgun out of his pants, though, right?
No, that's a size 2 weapon.
All right,
I could
good.
make an Uzi, but I.
I
don't
was
think
just
that's
thinking,
canon.
don't say you can make an Uzi, but all right.
That I have one die for shooting a shotgun, and it was a 1.
Nate, baby.
I am not gonna make that a
Why-
crit fail because I don't want to kill anyone today.
Why are you doing this to me? Okay, so
Dice do you have for your firearms pool, man? Because
0 in my firearms pool.
and your dex is
Oh no, my dex is 2. Oh, that's 2 dice.
okay.
Okay, that's 1 success.
Oh, Nate actually manages to not shoot his own foot off. And-
Brilliant.
And then you hit a target. Most of the target is still left standing, but you hit a target.
Progress.
I've been under the assumption all this time that Nate had like 2 or 3 dots in firearms. He's just
Oh. He's just been randomly pulling out guns and firing them with no training
No.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
No training whatsoever.
I got 2 points in brawl and a specialty for using my sharp claws, but I'm way too squeaky to like actually want to get in close.
Oh my god!
This
I
is-
have more firearms than you. That's
You absolutely
Crazy.
do.
This is the same guy who took on a dragon in
So does the
fisticuffs.
Wyzant.
Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, Lars was in the Second World War. He's got a Second World War, yeah?
Yeah, Lars should have a few dots.
Yeah.
You got one.
Oh, well. It's better, still better than Nate.
1 dot better than.
Anyway, things progress. Tide, do you also try to use the shotgun?
I gingerly take. This is the shotgun that Nate produced.
Oh yeah.
I gingerly take the shotgun and kind of look at him. You know,
It's very heavy.
every time you produce a gun from your pants, you could say so many terrible puns, but I'm not going
Is that a gun in
to.
your pants? Are you happy to see me?
Patty just I'm gonna go get us all some coffee. I'll be back in a little bit. I trust you guys not to kill each other, okay? And she just goes over to her car and
That's
drives
not a
away.
good call.
That's a bad call.
Oh.
You're just afraid
Right.
to get shot, aren't you? Anyway, I'm gonna.
Maybe
shoot.
actually maybe I shouldn't leave you.
Nah, you can go. I'll just stay behind Tide.
She kind of gives you a look and
Not
goes,
when you're shooting, because
No, not when I'm shooting. When you're shooting, I'm gonna stay behind you. And when I shoot, you stay behind.
"Okay,
Okay, fair.
I'll can I get coffee? Can I trust you not to kill each other?"
I'd like to say yes
No.
because we're adults and we can vote for things, but probably no.
in response, I got 4 successes.
Oh my god.
God damn!
So Ty just picks up the shotgun and goes, "Oh, that's okay, that direction
You
aimed that
critical
way."
ones, Do I reroll 10?
Yeah, you reroll tens.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 5? 5.
It's a 5 success. You blow away the target. There's nothing left of it. Just a perfect
Yeah.
perfect
I
circle.
think
And
we're
the-
fine. You can go.
She kind of looks at you and goes, "Are you sure you need me to train you?"
Usually people in other lanes compliment your grouping.
Oh yeah, people are looking at you like, "Yeah, that's good shooting."
This is weird.
I'm gonna go get us some coffee, okay? You guys keep at this, okay?
Okay.
Alright.
And you keep at it. Literally, there's a few other people. There's not a lot of people in the lane because once again, Littlebrook is safe. Not a lot of need for gun practice, despite being in Minnesota. And eventually, you kind of just run out of bullets. Well, not both of you. Nate doesn't, but something catches Nate's eyes just behind that. What's the earth wall thing called? The berm.
Burn.
Berm. The berm. So something you catch something. There's just a sliver of white poking out from behind the berm.
Hmm.
And it's kind of like sort of moving back and forth, like it was in the wind or something.
Hold fire. I'm gonna just call a hold fire on the range so that I can go out to check it out.
You get some people looking at you weirdly, like, "All right,
Range safety rules. Someone calls a hold fire.
all right, sure."
I'm gonna walk out to go see what it is. You coming,
And-
Tide?
Yeah, what's going on?
There's a
follow
thing over
behind.
there.
What? Where?
See that
Do I
little
see
thing? I'm
it?
gonna point. It's like to the white object.
There's just a slight little white something poking out. It's silvery white. It's so bright that once you see it, it's almost impossible to miss it. And it's kind of almost swishing back and forth. I assume you're not bringing your guns out on the range, are you? I didn't catch that at all. Sorry, Harry. Can you repeat that?
I'm not. Yeah.
All right,
Bring
right.
my gun.
Okay,
That is
you're not bringing your gun.
Yeah. No.
All right.
Worst case scenario, I can summon one.
True. You can produce an hypothetically infinite amount of guns out of your pants. Anyway, That was not even a joke. That is literally what
Literally
he can do.
what
That
I
is
can
true.
do.
I-
Katie, check out the gun show. Oh, that's a really nice.
Okay, it
Just-
didn't go there, but now I'm happy I didn't. So, Tide, are you bringing a gun out on the range, which you shouldn't do, but
No. Like,
all right.
they'll leave it.
So you head over, and the white kind of thing just sort of disappears as you're getting closer until you get to the Burma. Is it Burma, or am I just
Berm.
the berm?
Berm.
Okay. I got
Berm.
confused by Turing's post. Sorry, the berm.
I was
And-
making fun of you.
yeah. Sorry. And you check behind, and you see further up ahead, standing at the edge of the forest, eating grass, is a horse. And it's, at first, you're like, that's a very white horse, an almost unnaturally white horse, you'd say. And then you realize it has a horn on its forehead.
Oh.
Oh
Are
boy.
you seeing? Am I like? Did I get hit in the head? Are we?
No, that's a unicorn.
That's a unicorn.
That's a unicorn. And it kind of looks up as it hears you talking, and its tail is swishing back and forth a little bit, and it looks at you while chewing on some of the grass it bit off.
Is that this how? Like, what do we do with this?
Maybe we can slowly approach. What
Oh.
unicorns eat grass? What else? I know horses eat like carrots. I don't have any carrots. Can you make carrots?
Carrot.
Oh my god. You can also roll intelligence occult if you want to see if you know
okay,
anything about.
Actually, have a not in a cult.
All right.
I have 0 in occult. I'm very smart. Sorry.
That's fine. You can still roll intelligence if you want, but it's going to be at
Minus
-3. Yeah. So, how many?
That's a
Okay.
negative.
All right.
That's 10. Make that.
Ooh. 4 successes. Nate, you know quite a bit about unicorns. You know that they eat grass and carrots. That's a given. They are also fairly shy, can be a bit fierce when trying to defend themselves. They're symbols of innocence, symbols of womanhood sometimes, and also closely correlated to virginity, purity. So stories go that they're usually only showing themselves or are approachable by someone who's, well, pure.
Well, it must not be here for us then. Shit. Okay.
Did Nate do something in Fae that I'm not aware of, or?
I don't know. I feel like I've almost murdered my friend a couple times.
That's true. That's true. Let's extend the definition of purity here a little bit.
I've killed before, so I guess it's not.
It's just casually going, I've killed before.
I mean, it's true. You've seen me do it.
It is true. You've killed many creatures in your days.
But we can try. Like, I don't know what it's doing here. Maybe it's lost, or maybe it needs help.
Let's talk to it, but be a little careful. I don't fully trust this thing.
Well, he's not near. The unicorn is not near the worm. Did I say that right?
Burm.
The bird, yeah. Right?
Okay. Is it near, or is it on it? Is it away from it?
It is maybe about another 30, 40 feet away from the berm. Pretty close to the edge of the forest.
Should we keep them from firing anymore and keep going that way? That's what I'm asking.
You can get it away. They should be able to resume. Yeah.
I just turn around and go like, I think we're seeing something. We need to check it out, okay? We're gonna try to hurt.
All right. They're obviously not going to start firing because even if you're behind
There's
the berm,
people.
yeah, there's people in the relative vicinity of the berm. So we're gonna go grab something to eat. They shout.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
You
it's fine.
should- If you can make a carrot, you should still make a carrot. I'm pretty sure all horses like carrots. And he's there. They I don't know what it what it is, but like it's eating grass, so maybe it's hungry.
Maybe.
I'm very
I'm
good
gonna
with
like
horses.
give it a little, like a little whistle. Its attention.
It looks up at you and kind of just turns its head a little bit, and you can see it's reacting to something, like it's sniffing the air a little bit. And both of you can roll. What would that be? Both of you can roll a presence animal ken.
Ooh, a dice I'm not very good at animal ken. It's -3 dice. If I don't know the skill.
Animal ken is a skill that would be -1 or 2, right?
Okay,
-1.
so that's only
-1.
2 dice. Okay, 1 success.
Two success.
2 successes, so 3 successes altogether.
I have a lot of press.
It looks at you and kind of inspects you, and then it's still standing where it is. Like it's far away enough that it's completely hidden by the berm, so you can approach it if you want, but it's not getting any closer to you.
Okay.
Carrot, and then we start walking.
Wait, you're walking towards it?
I'm asking. I'm asking this to Nick.
Oh,
Carrot,
oh.
and then we start walking.
I'll
Is that
walk
the
towards it.
Okay.
Okay, so Nate, you start approaching the unicorn, and one thing you notice right away. All right, one thing you notice right away that as soon as you start walking towards it, it kind of lowers its head a little bit, and if you were paranoid or worried about these things, you'd think that maybe it was aiming its horn in the general direction of where you are. Are you
Yeah,
a
but-
paranoid man?
No, Nate is very dumb.
Oh my god.
Self-confident. So I'm gonna keep going slowly and just,
Mm-hmm.
keep it calm.
It starts literally stomping a little bit with one of its hooves on the ground, like 4 hooves.
Okay, I'll back up.
All right.
I
yeah.
don't think it likes us. But we
Dumb.
have a carrot. We have a carrot.
Oh yes, carrot. It's a carrot that I spent a glamour to get, so I'm gonna reach out with a carrot and offer it.
All right. You can roll another presence animal, Ken, if you want.
Here we
You guys
go.
are killing Meg.
Both
No
of
success.
us? Or...
Poor
Gonna
Meg.
die by unicorn.
This is how it ends.
Not with a whimper, but a whinny. Is that it?
Been an honor being on.
do I roll to... Or just him?
Just him.
Okay.
No success.
Yeah, Nate, it likes you. It really likes you. It's getting closer.
Oh no. Oh
It's
no.
it's galloping towards you right now.
Try to dive out of the way.
All right. Roll Dex Athletics, I guess.
All right, another thing I'm just not good at.
Tide, you're right behind Nate, right?
God damn it.
Can I try to
One
like, whoa.
Oh yeah, sure,
successes.
sure.
I'm
Press.
about to die by unicorn. I'm gonna die by unicorn.
All right,
This is what's
presence,
happening.
presence, animal
Hold on,
Ken. Oh my god.
I had some stuff I could do technically, but I don't know where my
Dragon, no
notes
problem.
went.
Your notes are somewhere on the white thingy, in front of you, I think.
The cat bed.
Maybe no, the small shelf thingy that's standing on the desk. Okay, well,
Let me roll first.
all right,
can
roll
I-
first. Yeah,
can I-
roll.
Can I roll?
Yes,
something
animal
to... I
Ken
knew
presence.
I had notes. Like, oh, here are my here's my the list. Okay, I got it. Let me see if I can do it really quickly.
Just want to say, by the way, Nate, you have a contract called Paralyzing Presence. Now,
Oh yeah.
far be it from me as the storyteller to tell you what to do, but you do have ways to defend yourself.
Hi, that is a good call. I am going to activate paralyzing presence so I don't die.
If I was a cruel man, I wouldn't let you do that, but I am not a cruel man, so you're more than welcome to activate Paralyzing Presence.
Thank you, Chris. You're a kind and god.
Literally killing Meg.
I'm sorry.
I'll
Meg.
give it my fucking
Okay, and it just
Paralyzing.
okay. You got to roll something with that one, right?
yes.
Let me look. It's page 129 according to my
Yes.
notes.
Yep. I have it written down on my.
All right,
Oh,
tell me what it
is-
says.
Presence plus intimidation plus weird.
Go right
Something-
ahead.
All things I am very good.
Good.
Presence. That's so that's 2 so far for presence because I only have 5d10, so I've got to just roll them. That's 2 for on the presence, then the weird. I'll now plus 2 for the weird, so that's 4 successes so far.
4 successes. And it needs to roll what?
4. And that's 0 successes so 4 successes total. That's the and the bad guy or the person I'm just doing it on needs to roll. It's contested by I think it's a will thing. Here, let me look it up.
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
have it written down, but I don't.
No worries.
Okay, index.
This is the non-hostile takeover, paralyzing presence. It is versus
it
composure
is-
weird. Composure weird.
Oh, okay. I'll write that down on my sheet. So next time.
That is a high amount of failures on my end. Surprisingly few successes. So it just
Hell yeah.
stops in its tracks. In fact, it's already gained enough momentum that it kind of slides towards you, stopping with its horn an inch from your face.
I was gonna say that's cute.
It looks pissed. Meg, are you all right?
Horsey. Good horsey.
Magnum die. That is a very beautiful. What did you do? You tamed it.
You should
So-
write it.
That's the idea. I got it paralyzed for now. Not sure how long it'll last.
Oh, hold on. I thought you were good at this.
Maybe it was you.
Ouch.
Maybe you're the pure one.
Sure. I mean, I just made a dead joke at you earlier. Okay, let me see. I have one animal can on me, so that's where we're at right now. And then I have like the only thing I could possibly what do you do? Shape the world? No.
Shave the world?
No, I'm just checking what can I do. I'm not equipped for this.
All right. I
cannot
mean,
handle
I
unicorn.
mean,
Running away.
you can just leave. That's an option.
To be fair, dog, it's a unicorn.
That's true.
Cool.
But it means it's like lost here or something, and it might cause harm, or maybe the others are gonna want to kill it. I don't want to kill a unicorn, and I grab the carrot from Nate's hand if he lets me. Here, let me try.
Nate, by the way, you're a fairest. That means you gain 3 die bonus to invoke this contract. You know that, right?
Oh, so that would give me even more successes.
Yeah.
That would bring it up to 7 successes.
What?
Wow. Yeah.
I'm very good at paralyzing things. Look, I can take a dragon, I can take a unicorn any day.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you look kind of cool doing that.
Insensate tilt. What does that do?
Oh, that's the roll off, isn't it?
Yeah, that's because you used it on the dragon before, so you essentially you loopholed it to death. I'm not bitter about that at all. Yeah, that's the roll off of willpower. Yeah, it's standing there. What are you doing?
Can I try to? You go first.
Yeah, try giving it a carrot. Try doing your.
Just
Okay,
shoving it in
wait,
its mouth, or
No, okay, listen. I'm gonna try to talk. Maybe he doesn't understand what the hell we're talking about, and we're gonna see it in a minute. But let me try to talk to it. We don't mean harm, so can have the carrot.
you're giving it the carrot.
Yeah, I get the carrot, and I try to like try to pet it.
I need to find the insensate
Gently?
tilt. I think let's see. Inspired, informed. Where is the can I ask
We are
someone
gonna die.
so to look up? No, that's conditions. Tilts. Insensate, found it. The character can't take any actions until the tilt is resolved. He can apply defense to incoming attacks, and if he takes the tilt wears off at the end of the scene. The victim can spend upon a willpower before then to act normally for 1 turn. A successful attack will also end the tilt. If a character has been knocked insensible by drugs, then when this tilt ends, it is replaced with a drug tilt. So I can spend willpower. How interesting.
Oh dear.
Willpower
I'm
is
about
just fear tied with its horn.
So you know this, of course, Nate, that it can force itself to act even when it's immobilized like this. So given that information, are you still handing it the carrot?
I'm handing it the carrot. No.
All right.
Yeah, Tide. Let's see what
asking for the
happens if you get and I
Okay.
get farther.
I just look at. I stand there with in front of the unicorn and go like, "It's okay. We don't want to hurt you. We can see you. You can see us."
Okay, I'm gonna release paralyzing presence in a second, but I'm gonna need you to not be in the way of its horn when I do, because I don't
Why
know
would
how
you
angry it's
release-
gonna be. Because I want it to. Well, isn't it not gonna be able to eat the carrot if it's paralyzed?
I would assume it's not
But-
able to do that, no.
You can just put the carrot in its
No.
mouth and work its jaw.
No. I'm just offering it to her. To it. I'm not actually giving it. Hold it on. Let me.
Okay,
just
I'll keep
check.
it.
First, let me observe what's happening. Does it react in any way?
Well,
Do I see any
it's
kind of
so you're
expression?
waiting for its turn to act. Okay.
No, I'm just I say this in a calming voice. I came over
Okay, you can roll.
to the side
You
of
can
it.
roll presence animal kin one more time.
Oh boy. Okay. Where was
Does the carrot
presence
give her an
again?
extra die?
You can get an extra die for Nate. Actually, you get 2 extra dice for Nate and for the carrot, because Nate is kind of he has some tricks with up his sleeve.
Okay. That's 2 extra dice, so that makes it 2, 4, 6 total. Yeah. Let's hope so. 2 successes.
All right. That is. It
It's
does.
okay.
It looks less inclined to want to kill you immediately, but it's
Progress.
it's certainly not happy about the situation. You can kind of see that its nostrils are flared and it's breathing, but it's kind of heavy breathing, and the tail, it's like twitching at its base. It would be whipping back and forth if it could still move.
Here, try this, and I'm gonna take a handful of sugar cubes. Zoop.
So you also feed it sugar cubes and carrots. I'm gonna say that it's calming down, but it's still glaring. It's still glaring at Nate. But it's. Are you releasing the?
He made the food. It's okay. Look, it's for you.
It eats the carrots and the sugar cubes, but it doesn't look happy about it.
We don't want to
Okay.
do anything with you. We don't want to hurt you. We're gonna let you go if you. Can you understand me? Does it look like it doesn't understands me?
It doesn't look like it understands you.
Okay, this is great. I'm talking to a horse.
Yeah.
It's a giant
I don't
monster
know.
moving in front of my light. No, that's Wilma's tail, actually.
No, it's okay. What should we do? Like I don't. It will be cool to be able to ride it.
Yes.
So cool.
I think it's worth the endeavor to try and make friends with Unicorn.
Okay. Okay, I think we're gonna need a lot more sugar cubes, though.
Yeah, that's.
How many can you make? Because I don't.
I got
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
what-
glamour left, but I'd rather not spend all of it making sugar cubes.
Yeah, because
Nate, Tide, walk away from the unicorn.
What?
Who?
It's Patty, who is standing with her gun drawn, aimed at the unicorn.
Okay, it's okay. I've got it under control.
What do you mean you got it under control?
Look, here. It's not moving. See?
The unicorn spots Patty, and it gets a little bit.
Patty, put down the gun. Put down the gun, Patty. It's scared.
That's a unicorn, Nate. That's from. You know where that's from.
Yeah, but I don't think it knows. I don't think it's here to hurt us. It's just look at him. He's scared.
Okay, Nate. She kind of chews on her lower lip and then goes, No. This. Let's go.
Why should we be? Why should we?
It's a creature from beyond the hedge. You have no idea what it is, what it can do.
We're technically creatures from beyond the hedge right now.
Yes, but we can talk.
So we find a way to talk to it. But what if I was mute? Would you just leave me to die or shoot me? That's not a good thing. It's fine. Let me try. I know. Not now. I'll try it. Sorry.
You're as usual your persuasive self, but as you're talking, the unicorn is actually kind of pacing backwards a little bit apprehensive.
I stand, like, protectively in front of it.
Okay. You feel teeth on your shoulder, but not to the point where it hurts. It's kind of tugging at your shirt, and then there's a rip, and the fabric of your shirt is torn, and the unicorn is darting off into the forest.
Okay. That was weird. My shirt, like.
Yeah, you're missing a shoulder essentially from your shirt.
Okay.
Maybe it's a new style.
Okay. Where did this thing come from?
It was just we saw in the firing range. We saw something like white and silvery, and so we called a ceasefire. We went out to check it out.
Okay, we need to tell Michael about this. No, not Michael. Sorry, we need to tell Matthew about this. Sorry, I'm a little bit rattled.
All right.
Are you okay though? Did it hurt you?
No. We're all okay.
She puts her gun away and kind of just goes up and it's like, this. I mean, you never met any of those when you were there, did you?
I don't think so.
It could literally be the pet of your keeper, for all we know.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. All right, let's head back. Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
I mean, do I feel any different? It's just
No. You feel okay. It's just your shirt. Nothing bad happened, as far as you can tell.
I wonder why it took my shirt. If it's really like a, maybe it wants.
Could be trying
maybe
to get,
they.
or something, trying to track you. If it could be the phase. Nope. That word. If it could be our keeper pet.
There is a rustling in the leaves as soon as that word leaves your lips, but
God damn it.
Nothing more. Nothing more, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
What word? Pet or
The F word.
The F word.
The really bad F word. And we're going to leave you guys there. Sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger. And we're going to go to Silas. because I believe Silas was calling out, wanting to be next. Silas, you were offered 2 different job positions, essentially, or at least recommended. One of them was working at the Brother Greenwald's, Alan and Logan's pub, the Halfway Inn. The other one, which I think you were a little interested in, was working at the Blockbusters.
Absolutely, the Blockbusters one is the one I'm interested in.
Of course, it is a place of wonder. Growing up in the 50s and possibly early 60s, home video wasn't really a thing when you were a kid, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, you might have, if you were lucky, you might have a film or 2 on a projector, but not much more than that, I think.
And even then, it's like projectors or something you see in school.
Oh, yeah.
The most people would go out to watch a movie.
Yeah.
The idea of just giving them the tapes for them to play on their home entertainment system is out of reach for all the richest.
So you've, after the first impression of entering the Blockbusters, the second Blockbusters in existence in the United States, after the first shock of realizing that there's more film in this room that you could possibly watch, you think, you're met by a fairly young woman. She's in her mid-20s. She's got hair that's kind of curled up into thick braids. She's Caucasian, got red hair, but it's made into, I'm not sure if dreadlocks were a thing in the 60s, were they? They would be, right?
They would be, but not any.
Probably
Not
not.
on white
States.
people, no.
Yeah.
So that's strange. They look fairly well kept, but like very strange because it makes her head looks like she's got. Well, it makes her look a bit weird. And she's kind of sitting in the chair behind the counter, and she looks up as you enter. And she goes, "You here to rent or return?" And she blows a bubblegum bubble, which you at least know what those are.
Yeah, that I recognize from my time. I say neither. Matthew sent me. My name's Silas.
Oh, you're the guy that Matthew was telling me about. Right. Okay, well, when can you start?
Now, if you want. Do I need a uniform or anything like that?
Yeah, we got a couple of t-shirts, some button-up shirts, short-sleeved ones. What size are you? I think we.
The biggest one you've got.
All right, I think we got an extra large lying around somewhere. I think we got that delivered a couple of years back, maybe. I'll go get it for you. You ever worked at a Blockbuster before?
No. I guess when people come in, we rent the movies to them or sell them the tapes, and
Yeah, that's what it is. We rent the movies, we get them back. If they're not rewound, we'll rewind them. We stock the shelves with candy. There's some stuff. Oh, looks like we lost toe ring. Things are going to be a little bit messed up. Oh, there we go. He's back again. So, oh, there were dreadlocks on white people in Woodstock? Sorry, I'm not familiar with U.S. culture. Sorry.
okay, you remember Woodstock was well after South was taken as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was taken before the hippie movement, right?
Yeah, like I said, dreadlocks. If white people were involved, we have tiny subcultures.
Yeah.
That would make all the way to Littlebrook.
Yeah. So she kind of goes, all right, yeah, that's pretty much it. We stock the shelves, make sure the movies are rewinded or rewound or whatever you want to call them, and that's about it. What kind of shifts do you want to do? You want to do night shifts, day shifts, whatever? I'm fine.
I glance around, try to see if there's any movies playing, if there are any televisions here in the Blockbuster, and what they.
There are actually a couple of television sets playing different movies, fairly low volume. Where are you? There's a cat screaming here now. Okay, she ran off. Yeah, there's a couple of different movies playing. There's one where that's probably, is that Peter Pan as an adult flying around? Yeah, that's definitely Peter Pan because that's got to be Captain Hook. All right, guess that's still a thing. And then there is, what else would be playing at a Blockbuster's? Some Terminator, maybe? The Matrix would obviously be playing.
New Terminator. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh yeah, there's robots firing guns, you think, and there's some guy fighting another guy wearing trench coats and a trench coat and a suit, and they look cool. Maybe it's some kind of martial arts.
The one with the trench coat and the suit catches my attention. Whoa, is that Dick Tracy kind of movie or?
What's Dick Tracy? Says who you assume is Kelly.
Oh, he was pretty popular comic book character back in the old days, I guess.
Or what?
I realized that the old days, her old days, are basically ancient history to her.
I think I've seen that movie somewhere on a shelf or something. Dick Tracy, some detective guy.
I started to have the idea of a Dick Tracy movie. At least a new one.
Yellow Coat? Yeah, this is the one. She goes up to the shelf and shows it to you.
I reach out to take the cassette tape and look at it. I flip it around to the back and see when.
This was made. This movie was made in 1990.
I actually from McDonald's promotion going on at the time when I first.
Ooh.
So yeah, I remember it, and that's why Silas remember the character, but not obviously know about this movie. But yeah, Silas looks at it and see this from 1990. He's a little bit dazed that Dick Tracy's managed to survive this long.
It's also described as an action comedy genre.
I can see it be an action. See it be a comedy. So how about that? I glanced down at the shelves and I see a movie.
A movie. I think you cut off there. Sorry.
I see a movie called Guns of the Navarone in the classics section.
Oh yeah.
And I realized this is a movie that they had started shooting on roughly around the time I was taken.
Yeah, this
So it
is.
wasn't even out yet.
I mean, the library had a small collection of films, but this is walking down memory lane. You see all the big blockbuster movies from when you were a kid. They're on that shelf. There's some that were in production, some that are based on books you might have read as a kid. There's a Lord of the Rings trilogy, even, you find. You might have read Lord of the Rings as a kid, or at least heard of it.
I did. I would have. That was like Second World War era.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But when I look at the screens playing more recent films, the effects are on another level. I stare transfixed at these. It may as well be a documentary. It looks so lifelike and realistic.
All right. So she comes out of the storage room. She goes, "Okay, here's the shirt. I don't know if it's gonna fit, but I'm gonna need your name as well. We're gonna have to write up a contract." Matthew told me your name was Cyrus. Silas.
Larkin.
Silas Larkin. Okay. I'm gonna send in requests to the printer here in town to get you a name tag. She just writes out Silas L on like a little white piece of paper that she peels off a thing and just puts it on the shirt and goes, "That's your temporary name tag. You wanna rundown of how the system works?"
Yes, yes, Kelly, that'd be great. I look around, trying to piece things together before looking back at her. It's like running a video library to me. I think as I think to myself and try to process it. Yes, the films are an order of magnitude beyond anything that could be produced 50 years ago. Yes, the things that I do recognize are considered incredibly dated. And yes, to me, Blockbuster seems like a brilliant idea that can never go out of style. But I try to focus on what's in front of me, and I look at her. Yes, please tell me how the system works.
And she shows you, and you get this rundown of everything. It's obviously a little bit above your head, most of the stuff. When she goes into the technical details, like she starts talking about debits and if people are late, they get late fees, and she shows you kind of a bunch of stuff on the interface. And you follow along as good as well as you can, but it goes a little bit fast, and it seems kind of that Kelly maybe isn't the best teacher in this stuff, but she's friendly enough, and she shows you the staff room and shows you around and goes, well, it's usually not very crowded in the middle of the day, but
Is there a computer here, by the way?
there is a small computer at the counter, but I think it's running software that doesn't let you do anything else with it.
No, that's the thing. I mean, even looking at the computer during the run through, a lot of these stores have computerized systems, right?
Yeah.
It's 2019, even at the Blockbuster. And I look at it, and anyone else would be an incredibly primitive interface, it looks minimal but very effective at what it does.
I mean, it's 256 colors. That's 254 more colors than you're used to.
Yeah, I guess. And I look at the name on the screen and type on the keyboard one after the next. I haven't had a need to use a typewriter from those days, so it's not like I've ever taken a typing course or needed to use, much less use a computer. So I type out one after the other and see the name come up on the screen along with the record of what movies it rented.
Which name are you looking up, by the way? Your own?
Just one of the random names that show up on the
All right.
already rented Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I wouldn't show up.
Well, I mean, don't be too sure. There is a Silas Larkin in town. Well, no, I'm saying this out of character to you, not.
No,
in,
I understand. When I see the name Silas Larkin on the screen, rapidly type in the name and look it up.
You realize rather unnervingly that yes, there is a Silas Larkin, and there's several different Larkins actually. And Silas Larkin has been renting movies fairly regularly for the last, well, as long as this system has been running. And it's all films that either you recognize as movies you saw in the theater and you liked, or movies you were looking forward to. There are no movies that you haven't heard of. You recognize every single title, either because it was a book you read or it's a film you've seen or were planning to see.
I stare at the screen. There is no way I could have watched all these films over the course of my whole life up until I was taken. But someone has been watching all of them. Someone has been able to literally piece together every bit of the culture you can get from movies. Movies like The Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur, movies even older than that are all here. Some in black and white, some in color, some epic, some simple. Someone has been able to just, even a movie that even an old 1950s movie that I didn't expect anyone had heard of, but I saw play once at a foreign movies night at the cinema.
Yeah,
It wasn't exactly a big deal then.
and obviously there's not a huge amount of movies because there weren't that many being made. That there were some, but you hadn't seen that many. You weren't very old. But it's the same movies over and over and over again. It's like even a timeline, if you will. It's just the same routine.
Right. I looked to the address and I looked to the profile for that customer and took a brief note of the address there. Where does he live? I wonder.
Not entirely, actually, pretty surprisingly, it's your old home address.
I looked to it and realized that yes, they're living in my home. Huh.
Yep.
I say out loud to Kelly. That's quite a thing. And then in a non-committal way, I say it to not not to use one of the other F words, not to I just look at it with what seems to be disinterest and click away from it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kelly. That answers my question.
Yeah, she wasn't looking at what you were looking at all. She was busy rewinding a film. All right, well, I'm going to go out for lunch. So you keep the place running for a while. If someone comes in, just rent the movie. If you don't know how to work it, just write it down and we'll enter it later on. And yeah, she just ups and leaves. And oh, sorry.
I just say, huh, and look out over the suddenly empty store, just waiting and seeing who will come in or what will happen then.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, depending on what you're doing, of course, but eventually Kelly comes back. And she talk a little bit and she sets up a contract, stuff like that. You get your name tag. Not a single customer comes inside the whole day.
Huh. No one's come by yet, Kelly. Is that?
It happens every now and then. Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you either way. To me, though, I'm a bit reeling. The idea of I think back to my old time. I think back to the library. It would be a very dull day indeed, or everyone else would have to be drawn to something more interesting, a parade or a speech or something that would draw the eyes of everyone in town to the point where no one would go to the library all day. Even then, there'd be one person who's interested. The idea that a video store selling renting videos for for home entertainment would be completely abandoned makes me wonder exactly what's really happening.
Yeah. And it is weird. And because also kind of because we had to speed things up a little bit. The next day, you come into work, same thing. Not a soul comes by. Day after that, same thing. And she gets your information. She actually pays you in cash in the beginning because you don't really have a permanent address or a bank account for that matter. But you get a lot of time to watch movies, but no customers.
In the course of the last 3 days, I've been seeing some of the newer movies. Jurassic Park movie about dinosaurs is so amazing that I could scarcely believe it. It takes substantial questioning of other people. It takes a talk with Kelly and a very careful explanation that no, it's a number of animatronics and CGI before I could even begin to say that yes, those weren't actually dinosaurs.
Kind of like the House of Presidents in Disneyland.
Right.
Or the
what's that? I've done that. I've watched a few modern movies, a few classic movies, and then I can use my phone when I go back home and see that these movies have been overwhelmingly positive to the point where it survived decades in the public eye. They know that the Ten Commandments is broadcast every Christmas on TV, and it's a little humbling to see what survived and what hasn't, and what's become of it now. I've been talking to Kelly over the last few days as I start integrating this culture from the movies, just glancing to the screens while keeping everything rewound and seeing what happens as people come in or not. And because there's nothing else to do, I can. She's often a great deal of the company at work, and I looked at her and tentatively broach the subject. So, how long have you known Matthew?
I mean, I grew up in town, so I've known him pretty much my entire, well, I wouldn't say, yeah, maybe my entire life. He's been a librarian way longer than I've gone to the library, and he was a pretty nice guy, and he asked if I had a job opening, and he's always done me a solid. He's managed to find movies that I've needed to rent out, because, we don't really get new deliveries. Haven't for a while anyway. He's a nice guy.
What do you mean, no movies for a while? I've passed by the theater on the way down. There's new movies coming out.
Yeah, but we don't really get a lot of new shipments. Like it's been a I don't even know when the last time we got any, but I figured I don't know, figured maybe they weren't buying any more new movies. Maybe they're planning to remake Blockbuster into I don't know, Classics Buster. She just shrugs. Don't worry too much about it, Silas.
I'm happy for what I got.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be, and it's just strange, you know. I was watching I was watching the television last night, and they were talking about Africa. You know,
Oh, yeah.
and one thing that got to me is they were calling it a technological miracle. The idea that Africa didn't have telephones for the longest time, and now they've jumped straight to cell phones. Actually, when you think about it, it makes sense because you don't have to put up all that phone lines and
That's
all
pretty crazy.
you need to set right. So it's like, and I hesitate that I say this because I'm not talking as much about Africa as I'm talking about myself, and then I say it's like they skipped a whole era, just jumped right
I
from
mean,
that.
if you think that's crazy, go look at China. She goes,
What's up in China?
I mean, China's literally the biggest one of the biggest economies now. I guess, I don't know, but I mean, it's been growing pretty fast. I guess you can ask Matthew. I don't know. I don't watch the news, but I do know that China's been there's been some trouble there. I think with internet and censorship. I guess I don't know.
I stared at her a bit, and then I remember that in my era, China was most familiar as a late belligerent to the Korean War, pushing America almost entirely off the Yalu Peninsula if they had felt like it. And then thinking about it, I'm like, huh, so what's China like now? Is it still communist?
Yeah, I guess they're communists. At least that's what they call themselves. I don't know. There should be something about it in the library. I don't know. Anyway, you've been here for like what? You've done your 10-hour shift today?
Yeah, I've done a shift today.
All right. Well, I'm gonna switch you off. Well, not switch you off. I'm gonna take your spot now, and you can go home and check the library, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like that. Thank you, Callie.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. You presumably go and do that. Maybe reading up a little bit, and Matthew and the others are telling you that the apartments will be ready anytime soon. But let's fast forward to the day after, when you come back to work, and the Blockbuster sign is being taken down by two guys. And outside the door are just boxes of videotapes.
Hey, what's going on? I think it's a robbery.
Yeah.
What's
They're like,
happening?
oh, we're just taking down the sign.
What do you mean taking down the sign? I work here. It's
Oh, you're not working here anymore. This place is for rent.
Oh my god.
what happened?
It's 2019. Nobody goes to Blockbusters anymore.
I can't argue with him because I realize that no one's actually walked into the store as long as I've been there.
Hon-
And then I point to the videotapes. What about those then?
I mean, I don't know. You can take them if you want them. We were just told to basically clear the space out.
I take a deep breath and I realize that yes, jumping ahead in era is the least of which that can describe my own perspective. I say, do you mind if I help you guys?
Sure. I mean, if you worked here, I guess if there's anything you want to take with you. Honestly, it's just being closed down. Main office apparently just forgot to send out the email.
Huh.
Whatever main office is left, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just clean out the register, put everything together, and we're not even connected to the main office anymore. Huh.
Nope. Kelly's nowhere to be seen, by the way.
Right. So I go in, help them dismantle things, help them stack up the videos outside in a small pyramid of boxes. I make sure the cash register is empty, that clean out the. How much money is left in the blockbuster? Not much, I imagine.
Not much. I mean, you have. I guess you got about $50 in different sizes of bills and coins. But that's. I mean, yeah, that's all that's left.
So I keep my shirt and some of the other larger shirts that would still be fairly tight on me under the circumstances.
Oh yeah, I
Even
mean,
XL.
you've stretched this one out quite a bit, but there's some that can still fit you.
But I take that, and is there a wheelchair in there?
Sorry, I'm getting some interference. What is it? A what? Let me rejoin because I'm getting some lag here. I'll be right back. Sorry, folks. Okay, I think
Hello?
we're back. Yeah.
Okay, it's better.
Yes, everything's
Yeah,
working
that's
now.
better.
Let's go back. I don't know about touring, but yeah. So I basically take as many of the video boxes as I can. Realize that some of the classic movies boxes are separate.
Yep.
Put one of those under my arm, which I can lift almost effortlessly under circumstances. I thank the men for their time, realizing that they
Yep.
don't necessarily work. It's just their job. Even though I don't know quite who they work for. Probably the mall itself.
Could be, yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. What does matter is that I have $50 in my pocket from the store. I have a few boxes full of videotapes. Ooh, there should be a lot of candy from a Blockbuster.
That is true. Oh, I'm
should-
hearing myself in someone's.
I have the candy supplies and the soft drinks, and they are now mine.
That they are. There's just so much candy to take. To be fair, though, a lot of it is, I wouldn't say old, but a little bit stale. But it's yours for the taking.
But it's mine. Yep.
Yeah, it's all yours.
Free stale candy is still free, so I take it, and you see, the largest Blockbuster employee ever, literally carting the remains of America's last Blockbuster. down the
Second
street.
last.
Oh, there's another one.
I think there's one in California. Also, I'm hearing myself echoing of someone. Oh,
There's
We're
one in
second
Alaska, I
last.
know.
We're second last as we were second first. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, so I cart all of that down the street in a wheelbarrow that looks rather older and decrepit compared to everything else there. But it's just there for convenience sake as I wheel it all down to the library. And I knock on the door, trying to get the attention of Matthew.
right. And you might get the attention of Matthew, or you might not. But we will leave Silas there for now, and we will go on to either Lars or Nova. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Nova.
I'll go.
Nova, you did not want to stay in the library, correct?
She'd prefer not to.
That's right. You, however, are aware of a location that is currently abandoned without an owner and in a fairly good state, and that would be the cafe where the occult research club you were part of used to hang out, called the To the Last Drop. It's been abandoned for a couple of years, the previous owner having left town, and it's been standing pretty much unused. The windows are boarded up, sure, the door might be locked, but the outside is pretty well kept. And you're pretty sure no one would mind if you squatted there for a while.
Yeah, no, I'd say Nova, as long as she can get in, would just kind of grab some blankets and just would rather kind of nestle up on the floor.
It is dusty and dark, but not cold, so to speak. It's not especially warm, but on the other hand, you're also used to pretty bad conditions by now, so it's not bothering you that much. And there's a couple blankets, there's a couple of pillows. They're all very old. They're at least 20 years old, but surprisingly not moth-bitten, so to speak. There are no holes in them yet. And yeah, the first night you spend sleeping there is probably the best night's worth of sleep you've had in a long time.
It's quiet and I'm alone.
It is. And you sleep through most of the night when you hear a faint creaking sound that wakes you up.
I think she sits up real quick. She's pretty aware and used to listening and watching. So she gets up and I think she just stays still for a second and she listens a little longer to see if she can figure out where it is in relation to her.
The cafe, as of its layout, is that the bottom floor, which you're in, it's a corner cafe. So there is the counter, and from behind the counter there is a staircase leading upstairs to where the owner used to live. It's a pretty old school kind of building, and there are in an L shape essentially with windows boarded up. So the sound is coming from up above. You're fairly certain that's the source of the noise. It is pitch black outside.
She is going to try to slowly and just listening and being aware as she can the entire time, make her way up those stairs.
You step up the stairs, and Similar noises to what you heard can be heard when you're walking as well. Do you want to try to sneak, or are you just walking upstairs?
I want to try sneaking it first.
All right, go ahead and roll dexterity stealth. Believe that's a skill still.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Can do that. Oh hey. 3.
3 successes. You realize very quickly where to step on these steps to not make as little noise as possible, and you make your way up to the top of the stairs. It's kind of like a spiral, like a drawn out spiral. So you come up essentially above where the staircase started, and you find the apartment floor, which is completely empty. There is no furniture. There is a kitchen sink, and of course the space where the appliances would be, but other than that, and a light bulb hanging from the ceiling, which you can just barely spot, there's really nothing else here.
Would acute senses help?
Remind me
Or is
again
it-
what they do.
Yeah, I looked at. Let me bring that back. It is senses are especially acute. Sight, hearing, sense of smell operate at twice the distance and accuracy of mortal senses. I can't see in pitch dark, but I can see more clearly than humans can.
Yeah, so it is almost pitch dark. There are some street lights outside illuminating a little bit through the windows. These are not boarded up, however, and there's the blinds are crossed. So you see enough to make out the silhouettes, the corners of the walls, the doors, and the windows, but not a lot else. At some spot, there's a hole in one of the blinds, so you see the light going through, and there's a thick layer of dust and a footprint in the dust.
Can she track the footprints?
You can absolutely try. That would be not survive. Investigate, I would say. Investigate and.
I think I'm good at it.
Or actually, maybe wits composure? No, that's just perception. Investigate composure.
Okay, so that explodes. Right, so, 2.
2 successes. The footstep, interestingly enough, is more visible in the spot where there's light than it is anywhere else. Because the tracks, you try to follow them and you realize pretty soon they're not as deep as they were in the light, and they're leading off towards the bathroom.
Okay, so yeah, Noah's going to figure if that's the direction they seem to be going in. She's going to try to be as quiet as possible, still kind of get to the bathroom.
You hear, as you get closer to the bathroom, the familiar sound of water pouring out of a shower head.
Is the door? She's gonna try pushing on the door just a little, just to see if it's locked.
The door is locked. But as you do that, you hear someone turning off the water, and a woman's voice calling out, "Hello? Hello? Who's there?"
Okay, so Noah's like, okay, hi, I'm a person and I'm here. Is that weird?
Hello? John, is that you?
Hello? No.
John, stop messing around. And the water's turned on again.
Okay. It's a good joke. I think Nova kind of moves away from the door for a second and starts breathing and thinking about what her plan is here, because this is starting to freak her out. And she was hoping to stay here. I think actually she's gonna see if she can maybe find just a place to be and wait for her to come out, like trying to be as not scary as possible. Maybe, like, I don't know, in the middle of the room. It's always going to be scary. It's always going to be scary. There's nothing she can do. Okay, so she's just going to find, like, if she can find a chair or something and just, like, sit down with her hands out and wait.
You don't have any chairs up here, but you can certainly go down and get one downstairs.
No, I should have sit on the floor then.
Okay, you sit on the floor. And the water is pouring for a little bit more. And then it stops. And you hear the woman's voice calling out again. John? John, are you there?
There's someone here, but I don't see a John, and I'm not gonna hurt you or anything, but also I'm here, so just so you know, when you leave and come out, you're gonna see someone.
For a little bit, you don't hear much of anything. And then you hear the woman suddenly yell, and you hear a loud banging noise. Something hitting ceramics really hard. Ceramics, maybe. Not ceramics. Ceramics.
Are you? Hey, are you okay in there? Person I don't know.
There's no response.
Okay. I think she's gonna go up and she's gonna see if she can get through the door then, like rattle it, push it, start knocking on it.
The door opens up as you push it, and you see inside. It's completely pitch dark in the room inside.
Okay, so she's gonna go and she's gonna like terrified. Is the shower curtain closed?
It's actually pulled down onto the floor.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay.
But there's
Is-
no
is-
one inside.
Okay. Nova's gonna see if she can. She's just gonna like look. I don't know what kind of role this would be. Just investigate what she sees or senses about what's happening.
Are you looking like? In what way are you looking
Well, maybe
around?
like in an occult kind of way.
That could certainly be done. I would say wits occult.
All right. Would this be superstition or not? That's a specialty.
No, superstition would be no. I don't think so. No. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. 3.
You look around and you realize, first of all, there's no water in the bathtub. It's not even wet. And what was that? No, that wasn't in game. There was some weird noise in the background. You don't see any signs of a person having been here. So, with your attuned senses to the supernatural that you trained in your years in the club, this certainly has the taste of something not entirely normal. You would perhaps even say paranormal.
Yeah. This is familiar. Okay. I think
The door
Nova is
closes
gonna look
behind you,
around, yeah. Ah, damn it.
and it is pitch black in there.
Okay. It's gonna be like, hey, perhaps a ghost or spirit. I don't want to offend you with the wrong language. Hi, my name is Nova. I don't mean any harm, but I'm kind of hoping you don't mean me any harm either. So I'm just gonna stand here for a second.
John,
She like keeps her hands up.
John, help me. I can't get up.
Oh no. Hey, can you hear me?
John, can you hear me?
Oh boy.
John,
Okay.
get up.
She's gonna go and see if she can turn on the water.
Okay, so you gotta turn off your microphone. I can hear myself through it.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Sorry, what were you saying, Nova?
She's gonna like see if she's gonna try to like turn on the water. She's just gonna change the situation a little.
You're turning on which water? The bathtub?
Oh, the shower.
The shower. You turn on the shower, and as you do, the water, it kind of rumbles in the pipes for a little bit, and a really bad smell hits your nose as water that's probably not been moving for a long time just kind of trickles out and then just starts pouring down.
Hey, I turned on the shower for you. Is that helping, Miss Ma'am Ghost?
You don't get a reply, but when you look at the water, you realize it's actually breaking at a point. The flow of the water is breaking as if it's hitting something that you can't see.
Okay. Hey, do I see any like one? Is there a light switch?
There is a light switch.
She's gonna try that just in like an
Okay.
optimistic.
You move over
way.
towards it and you step in something wet, which you guess is water. And as you flick it, you realize that you were not actually stepping in water. You were stepping in nothing. There's nothing on the floor.
Okay. With the lights on, do I notice anything I didn't notice before?
The room is dusty. It is. All the utensils all the things inside have not been touched for a long time, and there is the faintest little brownish red spot on the edge of the bathtub.
Okay. So I think Noah's gonna be like, so hey ghost, that probably met a horrible end because I'm kind of figuring this out. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna live here, and I hope that's okay with you. But also, if you just like want to yell all night, like you do you. We're just gonna have to work this out.
There is a complete silence until you hear right behind your ear a voice going, "This is my home."
Does it sound like the same voice or more of a
It is
male
the
voice?
woman's voice.
So you can hear me? You can hear me?
What are you doing in my home? Where's John?
I don't know. I don't know.
John?
There's
John?
no one else here. I could help you look, but I don't see him.
I'd like you to leave right now. I don't think you... Why are you here? Are you visiting the cafe? Because you're not allowed to be up here.
Hey, I used to work here. Nova gets angry. She's like, no, I've been pushed around a lot, and I want to stay here, so... No, I can be here.
You used to work here?
Yeah. That's how I knew how to get up here.
We never hired anyone else. It was just me and John. John, sorry. Swedish pronunciation. Jan.
Well, we're gonna have to figure this out, because I'm not leaving. I'm done with this. And she sits on the floor, crosses her arms.
And the voice just goes, well, fine, I'm not leaving either.
Well, I guess that we're stuck with each other then.
I guess.
This is
But-
honestly the best way that a haunting could go.
I love it.
It's a silence for about a minute before the voice goes, wait a minute, why are you moving in here? We live here. Obviously, you can't move in here.
Well, I'm just gonna sleep downstairs anyway. You won't even know I'm there.
You
just
can't
know
sleep
I
there.
was
There's a
here.
cafe downstairs. I'm gonna call the police.
Go ahead. Tell Patty I said hi.
Who's Patty?
Oh, wait, I can't be the one teaching people stuff. I'm still figuring stuff out. You know what? I'm going back downstairs, and I'm gonna sleep. And if you wanna like thump up here, you can find, and I'll talk to you in the morning.
What do you mean thump up here?
Always your sounds, thump.
I was
You're a
showering.
bad neighbor. I think Nova like gets up and just like slowly starts walking back down.
Don't walk away from me. The door is
Follow
locked.
Ah. Okay, I see. Okay, it's gonna be like this. She like hits the door. Like no. So, do you want me up here then? If you lock the door, then I'm
No,
staying.
I don't want you up here. I want you to explain what you're doing up here in my apartment.
Well, no, because I'm sleeping downstairs, and it can be your apartment as much as you want.
But you can't sleep in a cafe. We have customers.
I already have. It is closed. Come downstairs. I'll show you.
Well, Give me 5 minutes.
Do you need ghost clothes?
I'm sorry?
It's fine. Go ahead. Take 5 minutes. I've had quite the few days. I think I'm being rude. I'm rude sometimes, and I don't know.
What's your
I'm working on
name?
it. Well, now I'm Nova.
Well, Nova. I'll meet you downstairs, but you gotta explain. First of all, how did you even get up here? There's a locked door.
Not any more.
Okay. Well, if you see John, tell him I've been trying to get him to get in here for a while. I hurt my head? Well, if you see him, let him know I'm here. I need his help.
Nova softens a little bit at that. It's like, okay, if I see John, I'll tell him. I'm
All
sure
right.
I'll see him.
The door unlocks. You actually hear the click in the lock.
Nova opens the door and just starts to go downstairs.
Yeah, you're left to go downstairs. And the shower turns on again.
All right, you know what? I can live with this. This is okay. This is okay. This is actually still better than a whole lot of people. Okay, yeah. So I just know was like, no, this is okay. I like this kind of stuff, and now I'm living this kind of stuff. So
Living the
she
dream.
just try to tucks herself back in.
And as the night passes to day, you realize that there is no trace of this mystery visitor at all during the daytimes. But as the night comes around, shower goes on. She calls out for John. She falls, slams against the shower or the bathtub, and calls out for John before going silent. Shower still running.
Nova makes a note to get some sort of Walkman or Discman and a pair of headphones. She just lets it happen.
And it keeps happening every night. Never talking to her or just leaving her alone.
For now, leaving her alone. She's figured she's gotten everything she can for now. She'll have to go do some research maybe, go to the library, microfiche.
Microfiche. Yeah, there is certainly some microfiche in the storage section of the library. But yeah, that's an eventful. Like nothing else really happens. There's the occasional dripping something from the ceiling down into the cafe, but it's always gone by the time the morning comes around. But yeah, would you mind if we continued on with touring, or is there anything else you want to do with the ghost?
Oh no, she's great.
Okay, you're great.
They're gonna be
Oops, I just
funny.
spoiled it was a ghost, but that's not a big surprise, I
think we
guess.
figured it out.
Too smart for
There
me.
were some hints.
There were some hints. Now, before we continue, I'm just going to say I'm fine with continuing beyond midnight. I do know there is a show coming up right after ours, but since Adam or Jonas isn't here, we've got another 20-ish minutes, if that's okay with Travis, who's going to be running a rerun after this. But while we're waiting for a response for that, Lars, what have you been doing for this week? What is your goal for this week?
Lars's kind of semi-long-term, short-term goal was to find a place within the town. So find a slot to fit into.
And so Lars has been walking around town, checking out places.
If I remember correctly, there had been a job at the junkyard.
That's true. Martin Wellman is looking for some help. It's not a permanent job. It's more of a fixing a bunch of machines before winter comes around. So there's that job. Heavy machinery, essentially. There's school bus. There's snow plows even. There's two of them. There's, of course, the lawn mowers, the big lawn mowers for the green, stuff like that. It needs maintenance. So I'm assuming that Lars has kind of drifted in that direction and has been helping Martin Wellman out every now and then, or whatever time he's able to.
Yes.
Yeah. And Martin, of course, welcomes the help. He can't offer much in terms of money, but he quickly grows to appreciate your rather, I would say, almost supernatural ability to work almost any machinery. However, that is not going to be, I believe, the emphasis on this, because at one point when you're leaving the junkyard or the scrap yard, you realize, of course, that it's located fairly close to your family business, or the business of your descendants, as it were, the electronics the electronic repair shop, or the TV repair shop, whatever you want to call it. And as you walk past, you spot the corner of your eye. You're not entirely sure if you actually saw it or not, but when you look at it again, you suddenly realize, how could you miss that stairwell right on the side of the building? Maybe it's because it was at a weird angle, but there's a small, very narrow stairwell leading downstairs, right in, presumably to a basement of the store that your grandchildren are running, your grandson maybe.
I would say that that is definitely something that Lars would cautiously explore.
So you kind of creep down this stairwell, and I don't know if you actually owned this place when you were still around. Was that it? Did you?
Well, we own the auto repair shop.
Oh, that's true.
Next door.
That's true. So you kind of apparently that's no longer yours, but this place is, and you don't recall there being a cellar here. Like, you've walked past this building a bunch of times. This is an old house. It's been repaired, of course. Maybe someone built a basement, but that would seem like a weird addition to a house. But
Yeah.
fair enough. You walk down the very, very narrow, like the steps are, if you walk sideways, you can fit your feet there. Otherwise, you're going to have 2/3 of your feet sticking out over the steps.
This doesn't seem like something that I would have missed. So, and it also doesn't seem like something that someone would build on purpose.
Yeah. And true enough, it doesn't seem like this has been used a lot. There's patches of moss actually growing at some spots. There's some weeds sticking out of the cracks in the cement, you guess it's built out of. And when you get to the bottom of this stairwell, which is surprisingly deep, there is an old oak door at the end. And it has this old-fashioned turnkey lock. It's like a big old lock that looks like something you'd find on maybe on an old chest or something like that. I don't hear you. You're muted, I think.
Still can't hear.
Mute, unmute.
Now it works. Now it works.
Now it works.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I believe that he still has that little piece of wire that he had used to try and pick the lock upstairs. So
He sure
he's
does.
gonna pull that out, and he's gonna kneel down and he's gonna work on this lock and try to open it.
And kneeling down is exactly the right word for it, because this oak door is about half the height of a normal door. So kind of compact. And you put the little wire, I guess you'd call it, the paper clip that you twisted, and I'd like you to roll dexterity. Larceny is the skill, right?
Yep. All right, and I have a specialization of lockpicking in larceny,
Mm-hmm.
so I get an
Yep.
extra die,
That's right.
which gives me 8.
That's a lot.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3 successes.
3 successes. That is more than enough what's needed to you. It's a little bit of a struggle because this is not the lock that has the smooth mechanism of a modern lock or even a 60s lock. This is an 18th, maybe 19th century old, big old lock that it's extremely hard to turn the body of, I don't know the term of it, but the thing that essentially is keeping the door closed, because you're only using this little paper clip. But you get it turned, and the door kind of just creaks open. It's swollen, so it's a bit of, you have to tug it out to get it out of its frame. And when you look inside, you realize it's something akin to a crawl space. Ooh, Nate's camera just went bananas.
Yeah, he said he had to go.
Ah, okay. Ooh. We
He's
will.
gonna leave his camera running so it
All right.
doesn't mess up the layout. Though.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Bye, Nate. So it's something akin to a crawl space, at least for a little bit ahead. But further in, you see what looks like a room. Possibly a room, but it looks kind of primitive, like it's been carved out of the ground more than it's been built. It doesn't seem to be made out of any material.
Is there any kind of a light source in here?
There are some spots where there's a light coming in through cracks in the concrete around the building. There's a light coming in from behind you, but other than that, there's no light inside.
Okay. I don't believe that I have a contract that will give me anything like that. So he'll kind of go in. He'll stop and listen first. Does he hear any movement?
There's actually nothing. It's as if you're entering. Well, it's like you're entering another world, because not even the sound of traffic is coming from where it should be coming. Like, you're hearing it from outside the door, cars driving past, but nowhere from inside. And judging by the direction, you should be hearing traffic.
Yeah, the road's not too far behind me, even.
Oh, nope.
Okay, so then he will kind of slowly move into the room and start feeling around to see if there's anything in.
It's surprisingly dry. First of all, that's one thing you notice, and it's like trampled stone. No, not stone. Trampled dirt floor, basically. But it's been carved out into a pretty comfy little space it's only got one exit as far as you can tell, but it's essentially the size of a small room, and there is a large pile of junk lying in the corner of the room. There's an old steel frame bed. There are piles of wood, like broken cupboards or what have you. There's some kitty. There is some metal springs. It's essentially like if someone was collecting garbage and putting it in a pile.
Lars likes the look of this. Lars thinks that he can make something of this. So he is going to head out to do a little bit of shopping.
All right.
He's looking for probably like a hardware store. With what's in there and what he can get at the hardware store, as well as a lantern, probably a battery operated lantern. He's going to build himself a workbench on one side of the room. And he's going to use the materials that are down there for the most part. And any extra ones he'll sort into bins. He's paying for all of this with the assorted, wrinkled up bills and handfuls of change that he stole from his keeper when he fled.
All right.
And I'm sure he's also probably made a little bit of money from working at the junkyard.
Oh yeah, definitely not as much as you'd make working at a normal job, but compensated enough.
So using that, he's going to make himself a little home. That's going to be where he's going to live.
Yeah. So days pass by as you work. Essentially, do you still do some work with Martin, or is this taking up all your free time?
No, this would be something that he's doing when he's not working at the junkyard.
All right. So, yeah, the days really just seem to zoom past as you occupy your free time with doing this. And you work, eat, go build on your workshop, and then go to bed and rinse and repeat for the remainder of the week. And you realize some things you discover is that when you close the door behind you, there is nothing, no sound from anywhere. It's interestingly enough, you don't have to lock the door. Well, you can open it as much as you want, open it and close it, but it clicks. You hear the lock close when you close the door, but it seems to open right away for you. It's as if you had the ability to just unlock it with your will. And soon enough, you have a little workspace.
Once he's got a suitable workspace, then he will begin to build a bed and like a little table.
And guns. So many guns. No, sorry.
Kind of redundant considering
Oh,
that
that's nice.
Nate can just pull them out of his pants.
Yeah. But yeah, you're building a bed. You're building all the furniture you want, essentially, within reasonable limit. You can't build a pool, obviously, but you make a comfortable room. It's dry. There are no bugs bothering you. There's a spider in the corner, you guess, but that one's keeping to itself.
That's fine. I can share my space with the spider. They keep other bugs away.
Yep. And soon enough, you literally have your own little workshop, cut away from everything else.
This makes Lars happy.
And a plus side to all this, as the few occasions that you go out, you actually sometimes spot your son or his children or your family, essentially. They're living their lives. They seem to be doing okay. The store is doing okay too. They get plenty of customers, you've noticed. So that's definitely something.
Yeah, now that he's kind of set himself up with a safe and secure location, and he's not necessarily busy with the building of his workshop and his living quarters and stuff like that, he will spend more of his off time kind of keeping an eye on his family, observing them, and basically kind of keeping I guess you'd say standing guard over them, but from a distance.
Yeah, and it goes fairly well. You're very good at hiding, and soon enough you figure out the routines. It seems like they're living fairly normal small town lives, and yeah, life seems to be going on. They visit the grave rather, of you or your fetch and your wife on the day of your wife's death, which shows up. You're of course able to go there as well if you wish, at a point where you won't be bothering them and no one else, you presume. And we will handle that situation, I believe, at the start of the next session, because obviously that's if you want to, anyway. But it feels good. It feels like you're, well, not going to the grave, obviously, but your family's doing fine. You got your own little space, and maybe things will gonna work out. And if it's all right with you, I think we're gonna start rounding things up for today's session. Unless there's something else you wanted to do as well, Lars.
No, that's
Okay.
that was Lars's big goal.
Yeah. So Thank you everyone for sticking with us for a little bit longer than usual. I'm sorry we got a little bit lopsided with the time for everyone, but I hope everyone's had a good time playing, because I certainly had. And this was a little bit more focused on the day-to-day lives of our changelings.
Yeah, we definitely put it together really well. I was happy with the way all of it went. I guess this is the last one we see you guys till the new year, eh?
That's probably true. We will be taking a break until January the 2nd is our first stream, and unfortunately Lars won't be able to join us, or Touring, at that time.
Aw.
But we will play that scene. We will compensate as we usually do when people are not able to join, and we will begin the second chapter of Littlebrook Reunion, January the 2nd. And there might be a one-on-one with me and Jonas or Adam, the 26th. Although we'll see. We'll see if we get it to work. And for now, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Before we go, Torin, would you mind bringing up again the shoutouts for the episode?
Oh yeah, the shout outs were for the mobile or the phone edition of Scion, second edition, I believe, was the specification on that. Yep. Scion second edition, book one origin, phone version. Also out on Drive Through RPG is the Trinity Continuum Core and TC Aeon. And then a couple weeks ago, Pugmire phone version was released as well. So if you play a lot of these kind of games and you don't want to tote around books that you got a phone, there you go.
Yeah, and this is a really, thank you, Torin. This is a really new thing, having PDFs specifically adapted for phones. So I'm actually looking into getting the Scion book for myself, because I used to play Scion a little bit. And in case you don't know what that is, you're essentially playing Children of Gods and Humans. And interestingly enough, at least when I was playing it, it's divided into 3 different kind of arcs of your character's growth, from being heroes to demigods to actual gods. I hope I'm saying that right, because it's been a long time since I played it. Very interesting. Lots of different pantheons you can pick from. Very, very cool game. And with that, I think we're going to say goodnight for now. Thank you everyone for playing, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks for sticking with us, audience.
Thank you. Have a great Christmas and whatever else you might celebrate, and a great New Year's.
Bye bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye. Bye.